Revolutionary, idealist, dictator, Fidel Castro, the controversial Cuban leader, has died after heading the communist country for half a century and escaping more than 600 attempts on his life. In recent and albeit rare appearances, the once vibrant and charismatic Castro appeared more frail, prompting speculation on the state of his health. A public fall in 2004 was the first sign of Castro losing control. 2 years later, he missed his own 80th birthday celebrations. The state-controlled media took to releasing staged pictures as proof that Castro was still alive. In his youth, he is the figurehead of the Cuban Revolution. Castro challenged the regime under Fulgencio Batista, recruiting fellow rebels and staging military coups. And in 1959, he marched through the streets of Havana triumphantly after overthrowing Batista. But despite ruling Cuba for 5 decades, his leadership continues to divide opinion. Some consider him a champion of the people, reforming the country's social welfare system and helping the poor. Others see him as an oppressor, prompting thousands of desperate people to flee from poverty and repression for new lives in America. His one-party state jailed Cubans who didn't support him, and his relationship with Russia put Cuba in a vulnerable position at the center of the Cold War. The collapse of the Soviet Union sent the country's economy into turmoil. Castro oversaw Cuba for the last 5 decades, from the American economic embargo in 1961 to a recent thawing in relations.
The hand of President Raul Castro of Cuba.
He built a socialist state and crafted Cuba's identity on the international stage, differentiating the country from other Caribbean islands and building it into a global brand. Fidel Castro once predicted that history would absolve him, and now the jury's out. Either way, his legacy will live on in history, and his mark will forever be stamped on his beloved Cuba.
Ignition. Lift off.
If you don't represent women in politics,